Hi everybody, McBeard here, back with another Commandos Horn deck guide for you. Now, if you know anything about me, you know I'm not very much of a Skellige player. You also know that my favorite food is French fries. So we thought we'd take a trip down to the Skellige Isles to pay a visit to one of our new friends, ARNJOLF the Patricide, one of the 5 new leaders added in the Thronebreaker update, to see if we can't figure out this new leader and see how his increased chances for high-value bloodthirst combos make him as a leader and how it stands. So shout out to Coffee Veen, somebody in my chat who recommended I try out ARNJOLF the Patricide with Torrential Rain, On-Crate Greatswords, and a couple of twists of my own to make this, you know, a truly awesome old-school Skellige Axeman style weather deck that I think, you know, actually is pretty damn good. The important thing I wanted to figure out as I was playing ARNJOLF is who is ARNJOLF as a leader? He's a single-use leader, but his ability changes the board state. So likely, even though he's a single-use leader, I'm probably not saving him for an endgame combo. I'm more likely to save him for like a mid-sized round 3 where he's on the board and making all of my cards supercharge. So I like that there are still single-use leaders that focus more about what they can add to a game in progress, less about what they can do to close a game that's about to finish. So that's a major difference between ARNJOLF and Herald the Cripple. So what kind of deck can I build around? Well, it seems to make sense that I'd want to build a damage-based deck, something that's dealing a lot of damage, making sure there's a lot of red numbers on the opponent's side of the board, and I wanted to do it in the most fun way possible. So I put together this old-school Axeman-style weather deck with Ragnarug, which is why it's called Rain of Fire. Let's break this deck down for you. All right, boys and girls, we're going to do the breakdown here as we've been doing it, starting from the bottom, going up, spending time with each card. Let me know in the comments if you like the way I'm doing these breakdowns, if you enjoy the card by card, if you think it could be a little bit faster, if you think it could take a little bit more time. Would love to just know your feedback because you've all been very, very kind on letting me know what you think about the new artwork, the new layouts, all the new stuff that's coming to the channel. So I'm a big fan of that stuff as well. So thanks for letting me know. Let's get things started here with the N-Crate Marauder. What a polarizing card. Just a reminder that this is a 2x because it is in my collection. This is actually the 1 bronze that I have 1 of in the deck. So the N-Crate Marauder, boy, a 6-point card with a removal that you can play that's better on red coin. Obviously a card that polarizes a lot of people. It is kind of fun to always know that you're playing around this card, but it's not that fun knowing that it can kill almost anything you can play. So it brings some considerations to the table. But it's very easy to say this card has a very high power level, but I don't play 2 of them. Generally, I just usually think that I'm only going to get a chance to use it once anyway. There are some games that the only round that I go first is round 2, so it's just probably fine to include 1 of them. And when it's in your opening hand, and you know you're going second, just hold on to it and just enjoy that value. Meanwhile, in the discard package, we are running Tweesark Skirmisher, Haime Scald, Burn a Bran, and Morkvarg. So this is just generally a package that you want to run to make sure that that your deck is thinned out of cards that are not that fantastic in round 3. So this is most of the bronzes. The bronzes can do work for you in round 1. Those are the resources you want to commit, but while you're doing that, you want to make sure that you're drawing like a god going into round 3. So Tweesark Skirmisher helps you do that, gives you 2 points on the board while you're doing it. Demon Pirate Captain is a great card, not just because it's a removal piece, but because it's a 6.4 provision cost unit. This card's an absolute monster. Use it on a board to take out an engine if you're able to construct that board, and it's not that hard to create 2 damaged unit when you're playing Skellige, especially this list here. Savage Bear is a ping, also damages, also works with Darren or any previous round where you discard this card or have one of these in the graveyard. Then it becomes a 4-ping, which is fantastic. It also can hit 2 things, create 2 wounded units on the board. No reach on this bad boy. The Savage Bear is truly savage. This card, much like the Drowner, might get like a small change in like reach or row requirement because boy, this card is so good for Skellige. The Haime Scald, part of the discard package, very simple, discard and draw. Just helps you dig through the deck, get to your better cards. Dimmin Light Longship will help you create more damaged units on the opponent's side of the board. Is a 5 for 5 when you play it. Generally, the trade-off of the damage is not so much, but it is worth it when it allows you to charge up other cards. It is extra reach on the board as well, because sometimes 1 ping will be the difference between something living or dying. And just generally, it's a pretty good Skellige card. It's actually how I thought cards in Homecoming were all going to work. You sacrifice strength as a resource for an effect. The N-Crate Greatsword, a staple of Gwent, lopping off 3 heads with 1 blow since 2018. 17? This guy's one of the bread and butter of the deck. In true Axeman fashion, making sure that you are going to just have incredible engine strength on the board. And part of that is because you're playing a card that hasn't been played very much, but did recently get buffed. And that is Torrential Rain weather effects. Now it's feeling like a Skellige deck. You got the rain pouring down. You've got your greatswords triggering 4 points a turn. Torrential Rain becomes the engine your opponent has to deal with. 2 pings on the row plus 2 points on at least one Axeman. So there is that as well. We're running Darren for the thinning. Usually you're playing Darren with Morkvarg. One card that you probably don't want to draw in round 3, which is likely a Dimoon Pirate Captain or a Light Longship, and 1 Savage Bear, usually is what you want to do. But you're fine just thinning any card you don't want to draw in round 3. Donar and Hindar, now we're talking about our big Bloodthirst combos. Donar comes out swinging with a 5-point removal, kills Avalok, kills a boosted Meave engine, kills a Botchling. He's a supercharged Pirate Captain, so when you get the value from this guy, it's insane. A nice 9-pointer for 8 provisions plus the removal of something key. Donar is usually going to be good. Another option for this type of card is Skjal, who damages an undamaged unit by 4. Generally, though, I mean, you can make a fair choice. Skellige has a lot of great removal. Burner Brand, like I said, part of the discard package. You're drawing and discarding. You might discard Morkvarg, maybe a Skirmisher, but generally, you're just trying to get through your deck a little bit better. Avalok is probably flex. I didn't need to win very many games with Avalok. In fact, in all of the games that I played, I don't think Avalok ever lived long enough to make a Greatsword or Dagger immune, but it didn't matter. I didn't need his effect to win those games. However, if you are able to hit the immune on the Greatsword or Dagger 2 blades, you will win the game. You will just win the game. So hard for me to say don't include this card, but you may actually have the space to remove it. I think it might be a cut. Svanrigga is great. In the turn you play ARNJOLF, in the same turn, he comes down at a guaranteed 11 points, guaranteed 17 points on your side of the board with the combo, given that you give your opponent 3 points. Really, he's just a huge tempo push with ARNJOLF or on any board that can support him. Definitely play him when you can. He's not the worst thing in the world when you brick because he is 6 when you brick, and there's a term in baseball called WAR, wins above replacement, where you compare the performance of a player against what is known as a replacement player. And in Gwent, I think a replacement player is 6. You love to pay 4 for 6. You will pay 5 and sometimes 6 for 6. If you pay 8 for 6, it doesn't feel good, but it could be far, far worse. Madman Lugos is likely going to get more value than you need, because sometimes you'll have 5 damage units on the board and no 10 damage for it to hit, but Lugos will at least ping for 4 or 6 on a regular basis, and that is usually good enough to remove an engine or something worth removing. Morkvarg gets discarded one way or another from Darren, Berna, or a Skald, so enjoy your 5 points. Dagger 2 blades is the round 3 menace. He can be locked, he can be moved, but that's when you play him after the Greatswords, because usually you're hoping that your opponent has already dealt with the bigger threats. Avalok, 2 Greatswords, maybe something else like a Dimoon Longship. And here comes Dagger, ready to get at least plus 3 points automatically if played with ARNJOLF, and ticking damage with any weather effects you have on the board. Dagger can get a ton of points. If unanswered, is an absolute powerhouse. Vabjorn. This is a great thematic card. Obviously, in a damage deck, you want to make sure you're trying to get a lot of value from Vabjorn. Unfortunately, it's hard to do that sometimes. The best way you're going to do it is get something large caught in the rain, takes 1 raindrop, and then Vabjorn comes in and says, I see you're wet, and just destroys Spear Tip. But the reality is you're probably going to be taking 4, sometimes 5 out with Vabjorn. The main thing is that you don't have a lot of small pings outside of the weather and both weathers, because your pings are big. You know, you have Madman Lugos, you have Donar. So when you actually damage something and leave it on the board, there's not much of it left. So being able to time Vabjorn with rain is the best way to play Vabjorn. That's what you want to do. And finally, the reason why we're calling it the Rain of Fire is because it's raining and it's firing. Because the Ragnarok is back feeling like a true old school Axeman deck, running Greatswords, of course, in this way. But Ragnarok touches down, and it's a problem for your opponent until the end of time. That is it. If you can move something, if you want to play a different package, maybe Straves of Spala, maybe even Trophy Catch. Maybe I tune that in there. But you got Ragnarok ticking, maybe some rain, Axeman, you got Dagger, points aplenty, engines in droves for your opponent to worry about, plus the consistency to pull it all together. This is ARNJOLF Damage. Thanks again to Coffee Bean for giving me the idea, and hope you enjoy this casual game as we played it. We played it on a little Tuesday deck testing. But this was the pleasant surprise of the day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe for more great Gwent content from Commander's Horn, and I'll see you next time. Yeah, I know. My dog's not feeling this snowstorm right now. Okay, burn us. We keep this. We keep this too. We keep this too. And we go second? It's good. Okay, so at least we get full value on the Marauder and deny future Eilerin ease.
The guns are with us.
And Crate Marauder is a pretty brave design. I wonder, I mean, the problem with it is that it's a red coin. The problem is that it's a red coin. Like, it's super good on red coin. So, kills Milva and stuff. Like, I like having to play around it, but it does suck when red coin has a card like that, I guess. Very ambitious with the daily pulls of Commander's Horn. New content is hard, no? What are you talking about? Oh, I love doing the daily pulls. I think that's awesome.
We shall do it my
Excellent.
way.
Is it excellent? It's not that excellent because Morkvarg is in our hand now, which could be a problem. Still, we got to go for the tempo here.
Let's not get in the way of me art.
Thinking up a daily question is hard? I think I should be okay. I hear you guys talk about Gwen every single day when I'm in chat, so I do know what the conversations are. What the conversations are, at least. Not all conversations are hot topic issues, though. Like I'm not going to put up stuff like, is Woodland Spirit good? I'm not going to put stuff like that up. I needed to discard this too. Really messed me up. I'll just use the bear, I guess. I should be, this should be a command for the daily question in the chat too. I gotta get that in there. Make command for daily chats. Stick around here. What's the best card to use with Mandrake? Mandrake. The best card to use with Mandrake? Maybe Villain Trettenmirth, but that would have to be like a situational thing.
Humans are not to be trusted.
If with the proper plan in place, it seems like Villain Trettenmirth would be like, it would be okay to spend like, what is it, 7 provisions on a Scorch? I mean, do we even play a card here? I don't know. I feel like we're just going to lose to some shit. We're just going to lose to some hardcore poop. Hardcore poop. Isbell triple last play. Isbell can just go away. I think it's a cool effect. Like, it was a very Nilfgaard effect. I thought Shylard when he was premiered was quite cool with that effect, but hand guide. Much better for the long round, I'll say. Oh, yeah. It's going to be pretty good, I think. It's killed. So there's like something there. I mean, there's still the Scald as well, which I have in my hand. So that's fine. I gotta say, I like my odds. I gotta say I like my odds. Especially considering I'm just gonna dump Weather on him. So there's the other Scald. I don't need the other Scald. I need Morkvarg in my hand. Dagger And create Greatsword. Do I risk missing the... Like, every other outcome is better than the Scald. I'm just using the Scald to get cards like that, but Scald actually allows me to discard more, for fuck's sakes. Thank God. Seems like a fine way to start the game here.
Across the wide, somber sea, I will sing.
There's the other Scald, so... I might play that card last, we'll see. It's gonna have to have a lot of solutions, I must say.
This is elven land, Dwar, upon which
Okay.
mankind dies.
Alright, let's try to see if the Greatsword will stick. Do we buff it up with ARNJOLF first? Yeah, no, I think I do play ARNJOLF here.
Death is only the beginning!
It's only the beginning! Doesn't change the fact that there's stuff on that row now, so if he wants to buff it, then Ragnarok time. Also, if he's having a hard time destroying it, he may have a hard time destroying Avalok when I drop down and give it to Dagger. Dagger, 2 blades. Trident, 2 arms. Dagger, 2 blades. Okay.
Follow me this way.
Okay. I see what you did.
It's time.
I might end up discarding... Well, hold on. Oh, he's going to move it and kill it. Damn, that's pretty cool. Getting a rain with the Scald is more important, I think, than getting a Savage Bear on this board. Considering Dagger is going to be good when I drop rain as well, so I need to look for the rain. There's 2 rains, or another Greatsword, or Svanargan. They're all better than the bear, I think, at this point.
Kiss Baron.
Okay.
Don't you pester me.
Svanargan. Well, it's not a bad draw. Still 11 points in the hand. It's going to be hard for me to not get that. Also, Lugos is ready to do 10 damage to some poor fool. It just seems like I can kill everything. Dagger's got to get on the board, though, right?
Peace with humans?
Very
I like
interesting.
that.
I mean, I see your 4 elves. I see your 4 elves. It's the 3, I think. It's Operation Kill All the Elves right now. Absolute prejudice. We can kill 2 more elves reliably. Especially if one of them is like big old Kieran.
No one wanted
Maybe
you.
Gerwin on
So
the
I
melee
opened
row
shop
had to
at-
be this way, my friend. Had to be this way. This is the easy answer for Brewer, obviously. But he's gotta answer it. So now he doesn't have any crazy combo with... That Ragnarok just keeps on ticking. What a workhorse. What a workhorse. He was going to probably say... I mean, there's nothing else he moves anyway unless he's setting up some other play. But at that point, Dagger doesn't get any points. Wow. You better believe I hit Madman Lugos on this. Like, this is my chance. It's like it was all worthwhile for this moment. Bam! Ooh! That's a lot of damage. Ragnarok keeps doing work. More work than I anticipated when I played it. Here comes Ida with another boost. Vabjorn's not looking great. And it actually is... I have to play Svanriga now because one of these could die and Vabjorn has to kill one of them too, so... Vabjorn's probably just going to be a 7-point card. This is this is Regis, right? Seems like it's Regis. So, what's the other card? Regis and what? Nivellen? Oh, it's just Lacerate, I guess. So Vabjorn actually gets one value. One value. We're ahead by a lot of points, though. Take that, Raisins. I mean, I do like our lead. It's the Witchers. Oh, boy. Madman Lugos coming in with the Ragnarok doing so much work there. That was a good one. We had to get answered, though, right? We had to get answered to find the answer. ARNJOLF. Well, this deck was pretty fun. I just want to take another look at the decks that we built today.